Have you ever wondered which one is really worse for your health, smoking or vaping? Many people think that vaping is a safer choice, but how true is that? Today we're going to seriously compare traditional cigarettes and vaping, and this won't be just a quick look. We're going to explore the ingredients, the short-term and long-term effects, and the realities that few dare to question. We compare, you decide. Let's go. Let's start with the ingredients. What's really inside a cigarette and a vape? When you light a cigarette, it releases over 7,000 chemicals. Yes, 7,000. These include tar, which stains and clogs your lungs, ammonia, which is used in industrial cleaners, great for the kitchen, but not for your lungs. And then we have arsenic, the same poison found in rat poison, and cyanide, another deadly poison. There you have it, the smoker's cocktail. On the other hand, with vaping, even though there's no burning, there are also unpleasant surprises. Vape liquids contain nicotine and propylene glycol. Yep, the same stuff used in antifreeze. And as if that wasn't enough, when heated, they can form formaldehyde. Does that ring a bell? It's the chemical they use to preserve dead bodies. And watch out, this also applies to some nicotine-free vapes. Do we really want to put that into our lungs? But what about the amounts? One cigarette has about 10 to 12 milligrams of nicotine, and we absorb around 1 to 2 milligrams. On the other hand, in a vape, the nicotine concentration can reach up to 50 milligrams per milliliter. This means that a single puff could give you more nicotine than an entire cigarette. The worst part is, nicotine in high doses makes addiction develop even faster. The impact? It can raise blood pressure and increase the risk of heart damage even more than cigarettes. So, why do we still believe that vaping is safer? The marketing strategies have been brilliant. Flavors like mango, bubblegum, cotton candy. Who would have thought inhaling fruit-flavored antifreeze would be so appealing, right? This presentation makes vaping very tempting, especially among young people. Studies from the American Cancer Society show that almost 70% of young people see vaping as less harmful and, moreover, they see it as cool. Effective marketing strategy? Yes. Innocent? That's where the problem begins. And now, something almost nobody mentions: the impact of vaping on mental health. Many people, especially young people, vape to relieve stress and anxiety. But this creates not only a physical dependence, but also a psychological one. Studies from the University of Rochester reveal that inhaling these chemicals can affect emotional regulation and decrease concentration and productivity in everyday life. So, is it really cool, or is it just another trick of anxiety? I know some might say, but there's no solid evidence of the long-term damage of vaping. And yes, vaping is recent, so we lack decades-long studies like we have for cigarettes. But be careful. Lack of studies doesn't mean it's safe. Initial research from Johns Hopkins University and the American Heart Association shows changes in the lungs and cardiovascular system that could lead to serious problems. Let's stop for a moment. When it comes to toxic substances, do we need to wait decades to know that inhaling them is a bad idea? Formaldehyde, it's used in morgues. Propylene glycol, it's the star ingredient in antifreeze. This doesn't require rocket science to understand that it's not what we want in our lungs. Another risk that is not talked about enough is dual addiction. Many try to quit smoking with vapes, but they end up using both. An alarming 78% of young people who vape also smoke traditional cigarettes. Are we switching to something better, or just adding more fuel to the fire? Because in the end, this is like jumping from the frying pan into the fire. Do you really need to inhale these chemicals? We know something is not healthy when it includes poisons. Imagine making a smoothie and one of the ingredients is antifreeze. Who needs a study to know that mix is not a good idea? Throughout this video, we have analyzed what cigarettes and vapes contain, their effects on our bodies, and above all, the reality that something less harmful is not necessarily safe. And here we break our rule of being impartial. Neither is worth it. We know it's tempting to do the same as those around you. When everyone around you is smoking or vaping, it seems normal. But just because many people do it doesn't make it healthy. Yes, it can be an easy habit to pick up and a hard one to break. But you can overcome it. Seek help. Your mental and physical health are worth it. At Compare and Decide, our job is to gather reliable information and compare it so you can make informed decisions. We try to minimize our biases, give you a complete picture. But in this case, we encourage you to skip both. Choose clean air and a life without strange chemicals. And if this video has helped you, subscribe, share, and leave us your comments. We love reading them. We compare, you decide.